Peter the Money Talk here with another video. And this is the first time you've been on my channel. I mean, I'm not exactly a financial advisor, but I talk about money, ways to make money, save money, invest with money, basically anything to do with money. And sometimes I even give away money. But today I'm going to talk about why Litecoin is better than Bitcoin. Yes, I did not stutter. This is my opinion of why Litecoin is better than Bitcoin. First of all, I think Litecoin is prettier. I'm just messing with y'all. They really don't really have a face. It's not a physical coin. Neither one of them are. So what is the difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. And Litecoin, it came after Bitcoin. Just think of gold and silver. They're both metal. Well, gold is worth more than the silver. So I basically see Litecoin as, and it's not just me, a lot of people see Litecoin as the silver to Bitcoin. So I'm going to talk about why it's better to actually use Bitcoin, why it could be better to invest in it. First of all, I actually would rather use Litecoin as spending money for transactions than Bitcoin. And here's why. The transaction fee with Bitcoin, it actually costs more. So transaction fee, they can range from like $5, $20, maybe more. I'm not quite sure what the math is. $20 may be the max. I don't really use cryptocurrency that much. But the reason I know this is because I sent people Bitcoin in the past. So that is how I know this. And I sent Litecoin too. I believe I have sent Litecoin. And the yeah, I think I have. Yeah. I sent it to like my banking account. And the transaction fee was lower than the Bitcoin. And I'm in my mind thinking, why don't people use Litecoin more than Bitcoin? And it's also, the transaction is also faster too. So it's not just cheaper, it's also faster than the Bitcoin. The reason people jump to Bitcoin, first of all, Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. It's the first cryptocurrency. And I think Ethereum is the second cryptocurrency. Maybe Litecoin is the third? I'm not quite sure. But since Bitcoin was the first, people invest into it. So let's see how many coins does Bitcoin have? So how many coins will Bitcoin have? So apparently, simply put it, Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million coins. And Litecoin, how much does Litecoin have? So Litecoin has 84 million. So like 4 times more than Bitcoin. So it's not a crazy amount. But since Bitcoin was the first coin, people invest more heavily into it because it was the first. It's the firstborn, I should say. It's like people had when the firstborn kid's born, they invest more into that kid than the kids that comes after, than the kids that come afterwards. So Bitcoin is more heavily invested because it's only 4 times more coins than what Litecoin has. But when it comes to the price, there is a big difference. So Bitcoin is worth more. So I have my Coinbase on this phone, so I can't look at it. I'm gonna go to Coinbase, see how much Litecoin is worth. The reason Bitcoin is more because, like I said, it's the first coin, the firstborn coin, and it's people heavily invest in that coin. So Bitcoin right now, it did go up to like 100K, but now it's down to like 93K. And how much is Litecoin? Trying to find it. I don't want to sign in. Good, I sign in, then it's gonna send me the code to this phone that I'm using for my video. But there's no way I can find how much Litecoin is. I think it's under $200 right now. I mean under $100. So Litecoin is $84. So, and I said Bitcoin was 93K. So that is a big price difference. So yes, so Bitcoin doesn't cost more because it's better. It costs more because people are more willing to invest into it because it's a bigger name for one thing. And Litecoin isn't as big. But I believe that Litecoin actually has more potential to grow than Bitcoin does. Since Bitcoin is so much, newer investors will look at coins that don't cost as much. And Litecoin is not as pricey, so people are more likely to invest into this coin. Litecoin did go up to like $400 back in 2017. I honestly thought Litecoin was going to hit $1,000 long before Bitcoin hit 100,000, but I was wrong. It's like Litecoin went up to like $400, then it shot back down. But I still believe that Litecoin has a lot of potential to grow. It has more potential to grow than Bitcoin does. I believe Litecoin is actually a better coin than Bitcoin. Like I said, lower transaction fees, faster transaction, and more potential to grow. If people invest half as much into Litecoin right now as they do into Bitcoin, I guarantee you Litecoin will shoot up like crazy. Okay, so we didn't get $1,000 Litecoin, but hey, I'm sure by the end of this decade or maybe the beginning of the 30s, we'll see a 1K Litecoin. Who knows? We could see a 10K Litecoin in the 30s. And when I say the 30s, I mean 2030s. But only time will tell. So Litecoin, that could be a coin to invest in. Some people think Bitcoin is going to shoot up to $1 million. I mean, I don't know. And like I just said, there's like 84. There's supposed to be like 84 Litecoin that's ever going to be made, and 84 million Litecoin that's ever going to be made, and 21 million Bitcoin, what I saw up here online, that's ever going to be made. So in other words, Litecoin should be a quarter of what Bitcoin is. But it's not. I'm not sure how many people actually use these coins as transactions. I mean, I don't really use Bitcoin as transaction myself. I have offered on Facebook Marketplace, I have offered to take Bitcoin. I think it was one time a couple years ago. I offered to take Bitcoin as transaction if they don't want to use cash. But I ended up just sticking with getting cash anyway. But Litecoin, I'll be willing to take Litecoin too as transaction. Now but I never actually used any. I never paid anything in Bitcoin or Litecoin. But I have given people Bitcoin. I gave one of my friends like $5 of Bitcoin for their birthday. I know $5 not a lot, but who knows? By the time they're like 70, that $5 Bitcoin could be like what? $5,000. They forget about it. Next thing they know is $5,000. Same thing at Litecoin. If I gave them like $5 worth of Litecoin today, 20 years from now, $5 Litecoin could be worth what? $40,000. Oh, I wish. I would love for it to be worth that much. Imagine if you did give somebody like $5 worth of Litecoin. You send it to their phone and they just forget about it for like 20 years. And one day they're just looking at their old phone and they see that the Litecoin sent them was now worth $50,000. If they were poor on the streets and they see $50,000 on their phone, they are going to be so happy. But anyway, this video was talking about my opinion of why I believe that Litecoin is a better coin. I believe it's better than Bitcoin. Not saying Bitcoin is a bad coin, but I think Bitcoin is getting closer to its peak. I could be wrong. Obviously, Bitcoin could grow as much as people invest into it. So it's the same with Litecoin. Litecoin could grow as much as people invest into it. And I believe that people should start investing into the Litecoin. And this is where I'm going to end the video. So if you want to buy some Litecoin, I'm going to put my Coinbase link down here. So you can buy either Litecoin or Bitcoin. It doesn't matter to me. But with that being said, have a good weekend. Bye for now.